Well, I thought he took a huge step. I think the steps as you get towards that top of the pyramid are harder and harder and harder to take, and so you know you don't know on any player when they've kind of reached their max. You just don't know until it all plays out. And you know, I know Larkin wants to be to continuously get better and better and better, and I thought he took a huge step this year. Now I also think for us to win moving forward, he's going to have to continue to take steps, and you know, both at his overall game. I think he's become a real good, well-rounded centerman, but I think he can be better at it. You know, better at both sides of the puck, all those types of things. I think he thinks that. So it was a great step. We need another big step from him.
It's one of the encouraging things out of this season that, I mean, you had a lot of injuries, and yet you sustained competitive performances most nights.
Yeah, I think so. I think it, you know, I said this, you know, between the first injury was Zetterberg and the other injuries as we went through the season, certainly the Band-Aid was ripped off, and we had a whole bunch of times where we had to sink or swim, and I thought certainly enough nights we sank, but I thought enough nights we stayed very competitive in those situations, and I think in the end we're better for it. It's hard to learn how to win until you go through some of those experiences, and that's probably the biggest thing. I think guys, you know, you asked me about Larks, and I think you could ask me about a number of other guys that took good steps and were better players this year and are better now than they were a year ago. But all collectively, we have to keep learning how to win. And a lot of times, to learn how to win, you have to go through tough times. You have to go through bumps and bruises. I've made reference a few times to, you know, the late 80s, early 90s here, where this team was moving towards wanting to be a championship team, and they didn't just become it overnight. I mean, I remember as a fan, a lot of the media at the time saying they weren't winners, and well, how do you become winners? You learn how to win, and it can be hard, and certainly I don't like going through it. You guys don't like going through it. Nobody likes going through it, but it's part of it, and I believe that'll help us, but only if we keep taking steps forward. If we're the exact same team come the fall, meaning the individuals are the exact same come the fall as when they left here today, we're not good enough.
Is it realistic to expect a even more significant jump standings-wise, considering the progress that some of the young guys made this season?
It's realistic in a sense that without a shadow of a doubt, you can make jumps in this league. That's the reality of it. The league's so tight. It'll only happen if some of those individuals we talked about that took a step take another step. It'll only happen if some of our guys that have been around here a long time, veterans, take a step. It'll only happen if some of the guys we'd like to see come up from Grand Rapids or maybe had lesser roles as young players take a step. That's the only way it happens. And the best way for your ceiling to rise is for the individual players to get better. So we've talked lots in here about this. It's hard in this league to really help yourself from the outside. The reality is it's got to come from growth on the inside. And I believe, and I've said this lots, that our arc is starting to head in the right direction, but it won't keep heading the right direction if we don't get better.
That'd be kind of good.